This is Raising Teens. G'day, I'm Ben McEachen. I am here with psychologist and teacher Colette Smart. Colette, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well.
I'm very glad to hear that. Today, we are going to be talking about teens and first jobs because we have a question in from Sarah. And Sarah asks, this is a really good question. I want my teen to be independent and get a job. I think teens can learn a lot from working outside the home. But what age do I encourage this? And will it interfere with studies and extracurricular activities? I don't want to overload my teen, and I also want them to do well at school. Do you, Colette, have any thoughts on this? Please. I think there are actually several questions in there. Colette,
Yes.
You might want to unpack them as you go.
So I think first looking at some of the positives of getting work outside of the home. So I get that from Sarah's question that she sees it as something positive. So I think we know that our teenagers can get useful life skills when they work outside of home. So things like
and extra money, Colette.
Yeah,
and extra
absolutely
money.
Extra money. So they can get independence. That's a good thing. They gain confidence because they are having to deal with other people, other work colleagues, learn new skills. They often feel like they can contribute to something that's outside of the home. And then those interpersonal skills, they even get different friendship groups, which is a positive thing. When our kids are struggling at school or with friendship groups, they end up being open to another world of friendships. And they develop things like time management. So instead of mum nagging them or dad nagging them to be on time, this has happened in my own home where one of my children, who will not be named, has been late to work and wrapped over the knuckles. That's been a good thing when you get a chat with your boss.
That's quite the life lesson.
Yeah, that's a life lesson. And then also, they get tasks that they're expected to do and do well.
Yes.
They may have a messy room, but their boss won't deal with the messy work desk or the messy cubicle or whatever it might be. And then you mentioned money. They value money. I've seen it again in my own home. When something needs to be paid for, your children start calculating how many shifts or how many hours have I had to work to get this. And they actually even see things we pay for in the home
Yes.
in terms of their work shift hours. So lots of amazing life skills for working outside of home.
There's a bit of growing up that happens in your first job, isn't there? And as you're talking about this, it reminds me, my first job was at a supermarket. I was pushing trolleys, and I think somewhere deep in me, I got some sort of sense of worth or even value. I don't know if pride is the right word, but I know it's not the most amazing job, but I liked doing it, and I was reasonably good at it. But it was something that you got to do, and it was yours, and you could own it. There was a sense of responsibility there, and I'm like 15 years old, trying not to hit cars in the car park.
Yep, and it's outside of home, so it's a good thing. I think also Sarah also spoke a little bit about her concerns that her teenager might be overloaded and come home too tired to do their schoolwork and other activities.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's quite a common concern for parents initially with their child's first job. And I think within reason, the benefits outweigh the concerns. I just think getting to and from work independently is great for confidence booster for some young people who might have to navigate getting to and from work. Obviously, some parents will have to help with pickups and drop-offs for a while. And, we know that sport and activities are important, so it's not... I wouldn't want children to have to work and they have to drop those, because I think those are important. But I just think of a friend whose teenage daughter got a job at a burger place, and it was the first one she could get was quite away from home, and he had to get in the car at 10 at night to go pick her up. But his sacrifice also helped his daughter develop fantastic customer service. She developed another group of friends. She had been struggling with another group before, and so she had this new group of friends. She now has fabulous skills on her CV, and when she's looking again, she's got that to add. And I just think also I wonder, although Sarah might be concerned about the downtime and family and friend time, perhaps you might miss a family birthday. I still think that as long as that's not the norm, I do think kids gain more than what they lose. I think they gain money to be spending when they go out. We've spoken about the benefits of money and so on, but I still think that the benefits outweigh some of the concerns.
It sounds like you also think it's a benefit to parents as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I think as parents, you you see your child grow, and it's important for you to be encouraging your child in other avenues outside of what you can offer. They do learn other skills outside of you and what you can teach them. And I think, I think of my firstborn, who's now 21. He started his first job at Bunnings in year 12. And even though parents are concerned about the interference of studies and so on, many employers, I know his employer in particular was fantastic in every term or every semester, even at uni, helping him change his schedule according to his lecture time or whether he had footy in the evenings. Employers are quite used to their casual workforce having other things going on. So it shouldn't be too much of a deterrent. I think a lot more workplaces are lenient. They're more lenient than what we realize.
So how do you reckon then parents can help their kids, their teens, start to apply for jobs? That's a big first step, actually just putting the resumes out there. People are still doing that now, right?
Yes,
that's what I did
absolutely.
back in the day.
Yep,
You're still doing that? Yeah.
Yep. So we've gone through all of that. About 14, I think it's 14 and a half is the time young people can start applying for jobs. And I really encourage parents to look at some of the practicalities. So knowing they've never done this before. So don't say to your teen, well, off you go, write your CV or your cover letter. They have no idea how to do it. We need to actually sit with them and show them, encourage them to start or to write it with you. And then, you can edit it and so on after that. And I think even opening practical accounts, there's so many places online now, Seek, Indeed, there's many places online where you can, your children can start looking for jobs, you can subscribe to the types of jobs that they are interested in and they'll end up in your inbox. And then just knowing that they'll be nervous, knowing that some of our kids are going to need a bit of a push. Some kids will just be ready. My youngest, he's the firecracker in our home. He's ready to go. I mean, he's only 13. Well, he's almost 14.
But he's already.
Oh, man. And I think it also comes from being the youngest. He's watched his older two and his older cousins all have jobs. So for him, he can't wait. But for some of our kids, it's overwhelming. So we might need to give them a little bit of a push in that direction and encourage them. Look for their strengths and their skills. And even as parents, we all have networks we can draw on as well. So I think it's a really positive thing going forward.
And finally, Colette, before we go, I was just thinking about, should parents encourage their kids towards jobs they're passionate about or just go get a job?
That's such a good question. I think sometimes in the beginning it's just go get a job. Because
like pushing trolleys.
Yeah, like pushing trolleys. And I'm so glad you spoke about your pushing trolleys in the beginning because
maybe who I am, Colette. Maybe exactly. Who I am today.
Is because you push trolleys. Absolutely. And I think there's more our kids can learn from just doing some of the hard stuff and what we might look at as the menial jobs that actually bring tenacity and resilience rather than this dream job. You're not going to get your dream job at 14 and a half. So, I love that you push trolleys to start.
This has been Raising Teens with Colette Smart. If you've got a question like Sarah just dropped on us, please send it to us via the Hope Media app. This has been Raising Teens. See you next time.